Welcome to Aurora Fire Rescue Station 16, where you and I will be spending the day with the engine and ladder company here. 16's is located at 6500 North Lisbon Street, and if you're not familiar with that address, you're probably still very familiar with where this fire station is located. It's very close to Denver International Airport, not far from E470, and it's directly across the street from the Gaylord Resort. Super cool place in a very up-and-coming area with lots of new development here in North Aurora, so I'm excited to show you around the first due and learn more about it.
Just gonna throw random stuff up in here. 16.
Letter 16, you'll be responding on party subject 5 feet elevator. They do not know what the best entrance is. They did state it's coming from the south of Main. It's going to be elevator number 7.
Yeah, your best bet's going to be here. The top of the elevator is like right here. So the floor is like maybe a foot below. He's in there, he's fine. No injuries or anything like that.
I got it. It's right here. You got it? Yeah. Okay. Out of there.
Can I just get some information for you, sir, for our report?
Sure.
You bet. No medical issues or any problems?
No, just a little lightheaded. Just,
You want us to check it out?
I'm fine.
Sure.
Just the nerves.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right on. You guys, anything else from us? No, you're all good. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for all you do. Absolutely.
How did that rank on complexity of elevator rescue calls?
Pretty simple. It's pretty simple. It's just getting the occupant out.
105, a copy break engine, 6 fire dispatch.
Didn't have any medical issues. It was a power outage that caused the elevator to malfunction, and it was just a
Engine
simple,
6, you'll be with medic 105 for a 38-year-old male who's conscious.
simple open the exterior door, open the interior door, and then help them out. Pretty easy call.
I think a lot of people who probably watch these videos don't fully understand like the scope of work that firefighters do. Is elevator mechanics, elevator rescue something that are covered in Fire Academy, or how do you learn this stuff?
They have a little bit of that in the academy, probably more so now than we did in the past, but with Gaylord being one of our partners, they have security staff on scene that are there 24/7 that are versed in dealing with their elevators and any issues that they have. They're usually pretty good working with us, getting access to it, and letting us know ahead of time how many people are in there, if there are patients, if they're just stuck. But as far as the training, we'll have more advanced training through the department over the years than we had in the past. So I think it's becoming more and more common. The more buildings that we're building that have elevators in them. Historically, we have 3 to 4 story buildings that don't have elevators in it. Clearly, the Gaylord is above that and has elevators. More of our apartments that are being built are above that as well, and they have elevators. So
Sure.
The issue is growing.
Downtown Denver from here.
Beautiful. Oh, yeah.
Looks pretty impressive. So I think a key difference in this video from previous videos, I have been riding at some fairly busy firehouses in the city of Aurora, some of the busiest statistically. Today looks a lot different. Ladder company went out across the street for an elevator rescue. You guys were out training for a good portion of the day, but that's been the only emergency that Aurora Fire Rescue was needed for in this area. Why are there less calls here? Do some of these open fields have something to do with that?
The density, absolutely. So our station was built specifically for what you see directly to the west, and that's the Gaylord property. So this was opened up in 2018. That's when it was officially open, and that's the same year that the Gaylord was open. So at that time, what you see like right here, that would have been everything to the south, everything to the north, and everything to the east. So there was absolutely nothing here with the exception of this firehouse and the Gaylord Hotel. But with that said, you know, it served two purposes. One, to provide protection and EMS for the Gaylord, but also thinking forward into the future that this sprawl was coming. Okay, so yes, our run volume is not the same as it is, you know, 5 miles there to the south, but our run volume is picking up. The density is, you know, we have apartment complex right here to the north, and then you can see that the new residential communities are starting to pop up. These weren't here 3 months ago. So it's just that fast that we are now becoming a community-based firehouse. So when we went from maybe one call a shift, now we're getting up to the three, maybe 3, 4. Being a station so far removed from the city, we don't have that luxury of another engine, another truck being 1 to 2 minutes away. Our training is different out here. Our mindset is different.
Did that play into what I saw you guys training on this morning, all those different tasks?
Absolutely. Okay, a known victim, and it's not going to be anything tricky. So do your normal search for the victim.
Yeah.
Come out through the same door.
Okay.
Okay. 2 laps up the hose or up the stairs, and then victim drag down and back. Come down, go through the confined space. It's the trailer. Come out, throw the 24 aerial. Come back, forceful entry. Just keep going until you're out of there.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
So for me, I think one of the big highlights of having a firehouse here and the need for Aurora Fire Rescue to build new ones is that even though the volume of calls is relatively low when compared to other areas of the city, the importance of those calls isn't any lower. So there's less calls here, but as I've learned today, some of those are pretty high acuity that you respond to.
The acuity of those calls, absolutely. So our medics, you know, again, when we talked about, you know, if it's a structure fire response, how our mindset changes, same thing for EMS, right? So their transport times are, you know, for a non-emergent, you're talking 15, 20 minutes to university.
Sure.
Emergent, 10 minutes. So those transport times are a lot longer than they are in the core of the city. So their medicine has to reflect that, right?
Yeah.
So, because those transports, those are long transports with a critical patient. And, you know, we've had them here and it's becoming more frequent for sure. You know, we have a retirement community that is just, you know, literally a mile that way. It's 55 and older. So now we're starting to get those types of calls. So yeah.
Go in here and we'll just look at this.
What are the kinds of things you're looking for?
So we want to make sure like exits aren't blocked, that fire extinguishers are up to date, like being inspected and all that. They're supposed to be inspected like yearly, and kind of like you're not gonna see so much here, but in like older buildings and stuff, like exposed wiring or ceiling tiles missing, things like that. Like I said, emergency exits are big. So April 25, it looks like. So yeah, they're going to be due here soon at the end of this month, but and things like that. So this is the riser room. So like when the sprinklers go off, like we get a water flow alarm and all that, this is where we'll come to first. So one, see if it's activated, because sometimes it'll say it's activated, but it's not. But when you come in here and it is activated, it'll be running. So you can hear it. And that way we can shut it down. And also the fire alarm's normally in here. It's not in this one, but in a lot of them, that's where the fire alarm panel will be. So we can also reset the fire alarm or see where it's activated at and go investigate there and all that if we need to. We want to make sure that they're not storing stuff in front of it. Like sometimes you go into places and they'll have boxes in front of it where you can't get to it or access it. We also want to make sure too, like sometimes shops or businesses, people will be living there, like they'll own it and they'll live in the back room or something like that. And since it's not a occupancy like that, you know, we can't allow them to do that. So that's something else we look for as well. So that riser room is the only one that doesn't have a fob on there. They had to use the gold key there. Yeah. Okay.
Does this give you a good ability to see the inside of these buildings before
Yeah,
there's an emergency too?
Yeah, it kind of gives us a little bit of a way to pre-plan it by being able to walk these structures and see what's going on inside and their layout, and also like their the loads that they have in there, like fire loads and all that.
Sure.
Like I've never been in this facility, so that's the first time, so it was good to see. And if we get a fire, where points we can access and how we can get in there and all that.
Sure.
And what's the best way to handle it.
I think one of the other things that kind of struck me today was learning that Station 16 opened with just an engine company.
Correct.
And later on a ladder company was added, which is the crew that we have here today, an engine and a ladder. And the cool thing about doing a video series like this is that we answer questions, we keep kind of building on the story that is Aurora Fire. And I came to the realization today that one of the things that I haven't done yet with our audience is really talked about the importance of having the engine and the ladder company and what those two jobs are. And it's not just firefighting, because we're looking at heavy equipment, huge trucks, travel passenger buses between DIA and the parking lots. So the likelihood of having a vehicle accident that maybe involves extrication or heavy equipment is huge. Heavy extrication,
absolutely.
right? So what's the value to you and to the community to have both of those companies here?
One thing about the Aurora Fire Department is we're a community service based, right? So what I mean by that, Eric, is when this was a single company, when this was an engine here, so that was 4 people. Imagine a fire response and just 4 people showing up. Fast forward to today where there's a truck and there's 8 people, right? So what's best for the community? We often think about it selfishly for ourselves. So me being on the engine, what does that truck mean to me? That just means more people that I can assign tasks to solve the problem faster, right? But what that really translates, it's a better service to them, right? So if your house is on fire, we're not waiting for an apparatus for 5 minutes to arrive on scene to help mitigate those problems. We have 8 people, 2 pieces of apparatus here that solves the problem a heck of a lot faster. And that's the business that we're in, is problem solving, right? So when we can provide a better service with the 2 pieces of apparatus, ultimately that better serves the community.
Station 16 First Due area is growing immensely, and we are at one of the largest construction sites being built in Aurora right now to get a behind the scenes tour of all the work that's going on. Ladder 16 frequents this construction site so that they can come here and be familiar with all the changes that are happening pretty regularly. To give you an idea of exactly where we're at, because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere right now, straight out to the north, we have Denver International Airport, and then looking back all the way on the horizon is the Gaylord. So even though we're out on the prairie and seems like we're kind of far from all those sites, this is still the City of Aurora. This is still Station 16's First Due area. So a pretty unique place with lots of heavy commercial and industrial areas going in, as well as residential communities like we just got done inspecting.
So I'm Chris York. I'm one of the superintendents out here for Haskell. Okay. We're at the PMI waterfall project. It's one of our largest projects we've done with the company so far. It's slated to be about a 2-year project, multi-billion-dollar project. So they're going to produce the Zen nicotine pouches.
Okay.
A lot of site electrical going in, a lot of concrete work, a lot of steel. It's probably the biggest project I've done in a long time as far as cost-wise, but it's a 150-acre project. What you see here is the technical building, so that'll be where a lot of their components are stored. We have the primary going up now, which is all the structural steel going in. They've already got most of the walls up.
How many people does it take to do this project?
Well, it'll be a couple hundred people for sure. Right now we're just under 300 people full-time out here working. Between the different subs, we have electricians going, we have our iron workers going, we have our civil and our concrete and steel subs going. Yeah, it's a big project, man. I believe it's 70 feet tall, if I'm not mistaken. It gets the concrete walls up to a certain point, and then it goes the insulated metal panels above that.
Okay.
This is actually a controlled access zone, so we can't really go in there, but I'll get you as close as I can so you can actually see the steel erection going in. So each platform will have equipment for the production. They're installing the roof girts now. We'll have roofing starting soon. Start getting the building dried in. This is the crane that actually lifts the wall panels up. And these are the wall panels where we just poured.
So those are going to get picked up and
they'll get lifted and stood up, and then they'll swing them into place, set them, and then they'll brace them off, come in and weld them in, ground them down, secure them, and then the steel actually welds to it, and that's what secures everything in place.
Wow.
They're offloading bundles of rebar for more concrete foundations. This is part of our steel laydown area. We actually have another crane being assembled back there to continue erecting steel.
A lot of people out here, a lot of moving parts. What's it like to maintain safety in a place like this?
It's hard, but we base our contractor selection based off of their safety records, based off their safety history. We have weekly safety meetings every week to go over safety topics with them. We actually do monthly site walks with each company's safety representative. Come through and we'll find issues, we'll correct the issues there on the spot. If not, we'll note them and then have them corrected. I mean, we stay on top of our safety. That's one of Haskell's big beliefs. And that's part of the reason I enjoy working for them. And they've been a great company and they believe in family and safety. And I get to go home every day and see my kids. So that's the best part about it.
And it seems like there's already a really awesome relationship that you've all built with Aurora Fire, with the station down the street here with 16s.
Yes, sir.
How often do you work with the fire department?
Every project.
Yeah.
Every project. We try to build that relationship up and help them any way we can, donate if we can. Y'all are the ones protecting us, so we got to look out for y'all.
So I see Station 16 within the next 5 years being that 7 to 8 calls a day on average. That's what I see. And honestly, everything is spreading to the north and the east, right? So it's just a matter of time before this all comes. We have a 25,000 rooftop community that is, it's the sprawl is on in there already. And we're behind because that's a 12-minute response, Eric, over to the Highlands. Yeah. And we're first in. That's our first due. So we need firehouses to keep up with the sprawl, so to speak. And I hate to say it, but we're kind of behind the 8 ball.
Sure, and I think that's being talked about. In fact, there's a story running on CBS 4 News that our fire chief interviewed with, and then our deputy city manager interviewed as well, talking about exactly this, right?
The city of Aurora is growing.
Some city leaders believe Aurora will soon become the most populated city in our state. And the last 50 years, Aurora's population has changed dramatically. Over those last 5 decades, 300,000 additional people have decided to call Aurora home. That growth consistent. As of last year, more than 400,000 people now live in Aurora. Your reporter in Aurora, Kelly Worthman, speaking with city leaders who say with all that growth, there are new needs for infrastructure.
Including a need for fire stations, both new stations in growing areas and the ability to repair aging fire stations. Kelly spoke with the Aurora Fire Chief and explains his worries about responding to the city's rapid growth.
Hundreds of homes have been built here in Aurora, some still under construction. Yet what isn't in many of these new neighborhoods is a fire station. In some cases, the closest one is 15 minutes away. It is a concern for Aurora Fire as well as the city as it looks for ways to expand and rapidly respond in this fast-growing community. Aurora Fire Rescue Station 16 is one of the newest and largest in the department, and Chief Alec Otten is happy to show off its modern features.
And if you look at the amount of space that we've got in this bay, this is huge.
About 50% larger than most older fire stations, it's built to house more equipment that crews need to respond to emergencies, as well as meet the health and safety needs of firefighters who call the station home.
We're asking them to live here a third of their lives. So think about that. In a 30-year career, 10 years are spent in the firehouse.
From individual bunk rooms to improved wellness, living, and training spaces, this modern-day fire station is an example, Chief Otten says, of what is greatly needed in Aurora's new developments.
We've got 4 fire stations planned within the next 10 years. Aurora Highlands is a top priority. South Shore Blackstone is a top priority. If I could build them tomorrow, I would. We don't have the revenue for that right now.
This is our first public safety capital master plan for the city.
Laura Perry is Aurora's deputy city manager, and since coming over from Denver a few years ago, she's helped develop a first-of-its-kind plan that focuses on these multi-million-dollar emergency services projects.
The city has grown by 40% over the last 20 years. So over a year ago, we invested in a public safety capital master plan that really took a look at the needs of Aurora Fire Rescue as well as the Aurora Police Department.
Not only the stations needed in new neighborhoods like Aurora Highlands, but also updating old stations that are no longer up to code, like the recently demolished Station 9 and aging Station 8.
With all of the various capital needs across the city, both in fire, in police, in parks, in transportation, with the city's finite resources, balancing all of those needs and addressing all those needs is a continuous challenge because resources are limited.
There's $1 that needs to be torn into several different pieces and shared throughout the city's infrastructure.
The Public Safety Capital Master Plan will go before Aurora City Council in May, and it's Chief Otten's hope that the growing needs of his department will be approved to better serve the rapidly growing community.
In a couple decades, this city is projected to be the largest city in this state by land mass and population, and we need to keep up with that.
We're really excited, the communities that are starting to go in around us, because like I mentioned earlier in our conversation, that we're now a community, again, firehouse, which means trick-or-treaters and you know, kids riding their bikes through our back parking lot, and you know, they stop and they see what we're doing, and now we can talk to them. You know, ultimately that's what the firehouse has always been about, right? Is a focal point of the community where anybody can stop, they can ask questions, you know, the doors are open, come on in. Yeah. The kids get tours, whatever.
You are who is most important, and Station 16 was actually a suggestion that we received from YouTube viewers who wanted to see 16, so this is where we are. So please keep sending suggestions. You can write us on our social media or send me an email at afdpio@auroragov.org. And
the doors are always open.
Doors are always open at 16s. So you got a lot of avenues to learn about Aurora Fire Rescue, ask questions, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Maybe Mitch will be there too.
Love to.
Yeah. Be safe, and we'll see you on the next one. How's your makeup?
All right? I'm gonna need some powder. Makeup?
Springtime in the Rockies.
Did you stop the recording when I said?
I haven't, actually.
We're still.
And I still have you.
I thought you stopped it. Never mind. Oh, yeah.